Hey listeners, I will narrate the story I Will Try by Kirti Dhar. Have you ever heard of a happily ever after? I guess no. So, love is an ever changing emotion. At first, we like someone, then we try to impress that person, and after making a lot of efforts, we propose that person. But what happens after we enter a relationship? We stop making efforts, isn't it? And the result is horrendous. The story is all about those little tries that we happily ignore every day. If there is any kind of magic in this world, it must be in the attempt of understanding someone, sharing something. I know it's almost impossible to succeed, but who cares really? The answer must be in the attempt. Okay, so this line is quoted from the movie Before Sunrise by Celine. Um, okay, this line is very much connected to this story, I think. So I quoted this line. So let's begin. Lalita, Lalita. Lalita woke up with the yelling of her mother. It was 12 o'clock. She suddenly looked up at the clock. She couldn't open her eyes as they were swollen and her head was feeling heavy. She managed to sit up and looked around the room. There were ashes all over the bed and some of the old monk spilled over the bed. Lalita! Lalita! Her mom began to bang the door, loudly this time. She stood up hurriedly and began to clean up the mess. The mess quite resembles her life. She turned over the bed sheet, covered the rum spilled area with a pillow, hid the cigarettes bottles in between the clothes, scented the room with a body spray, and quickly opened the door. I was in the loo, Mom. It's 12 and you're still in your room? Who made you the princess in this house? And why have you perfumed the room? Were you smoking? She came in and started picking up the clothes which are thrown here and there. The room was like mess. Mom, I'll do this myself, Lalita said, holding her head firmly with one hand as if it would topple down. I have to leave. Please make me the breakfast. Oh, yes, sure, my daughter. That's all I'll have to do all my life. Serving you, your dad, cooking, doing dishes. She continued to scream and left the room. Lalita cleaned the room as soon as possible, went to bed, got ready, and came to the dining room. Where is Ron? Lalita asked. Left for the school. When will we be back? 7 probably. But the college will over at 5 now. Mom, I'm getting late for the class. Bye. She took some handful of biscuits and left. And what will I do with this Maggie? Lalita left without answering. While walking by the road, she was wondering if she could be as careless like this in her relationship. She checked her inbox, the messages are left seen, and no reply from Oniban. She scrolled to the Facebook. A post popped up. Distance gives us the reason to love harder. Bullshit, she murmured to herself in disgust and shut the phone off and took the bus to library. 4 years. Lalita could feel her 4-year relationship falling apart. They were 187 kilometers apart from each other for 2 years. But it seems like this distance was building up a glass wall between them. It was slipping off her hand like sand. Onivan used to hold her hand and they would walk all the way home together. Now he could not travel anywhere without a cab. How could a person change so much? Lalita used to love him more when he used to take her on kochuri rides. Onivan would bunk his college classes, and how daringly she used to bunk the tuition classes. She thought that She would skip anything for him all her life, but never thought what would happen if he doesn't react the same. With time, he got absorbed in his corporate life, while she was struggling to spend her college life without him. Suddenly, she heard the conductor shouting, "Come straight, come straight." She got off from the bus. This is the most important place to her. She could spend all the day smelling these books, reading articles without thinking of him, away from her self obsessed friends, the hustle bustle of the world, and the chaos of her life. She finds her solace among the books. She managed a sack bag to sit. While her phone rang, it was from Anirban. She ran to the washroom and picked up the phone. Hey, hey. And silence for a few seconds, and nobody said anything. Or even started, "Will you please stop drunk calling me?" Lalita didn't say anything, and he continued. "How many times will I say that I am in a mid-off project? I couldn't do my work properly. I managed to submit the PPT anyhow this morning, but you never try to understand me. Grow up, Lalita, for God's sake." "I thought you called me to say sorry." "Why on the hell will I say sorry?" "Because you keep saying, I'll try, but you never do so. When is the last time you really did something for our relationship?" Same topic again. Okay, I'm getting late. I'm leaving for the office. I just called you to tell you to stay at home safely. This virus and all stuffs are brewing, and I'm really. He couldn't complete while Lalita hung up the phone. Her hands were trembling, and she desperately stared at herself in the mirror. Such a transformation within 4 years. She was so carefree, mature, and most importantly, happy. All her joys and sorrows got tangled with Anirban now. It had been a year now that they haven't met each other. He was the one to cancel all the plans in the last moment. Why does he keep brewing hopes in her? Every damn time when he says, "I will try," she consoles herself. Every damn time when he says, "I love you, Lalita," she forgets all her woes. Long night chats, sudden meetups became history, which haunts Lalita the most. One evening, "Hey, get an umbrella and come outside." "Why?" "Come, I'm ready." "You idiot! You are in Kolkata!" Lalita screamed in surprise. She ran outside. He was standing there all wet. They went for a small walk in the rain. She was in the 7th cloud. Anirban was back from Bangalore after 6 months. The surprise plan was stupid, but she wanted to bury her head in his chest and to pause that time forever. Ma'am. A staff called her, and she got off on the floor and slowed herself to the present day amidst the chaos again. This evening, when Lalita was watching the news, "Why do you bore yourself watching this news, yeah?" Ron complained. Please. Shh, watch this. There will be Janta curfew tomorrow." "Whatever. Many countries are already having lockdown because of the outbreak of this virus." "Give me the remote." Ron tried to snatch it from her, while her phone beeped and she gazed at the phone with amaze. A message flashed on the screen. "Pico, My flight landed just now. Can we meet tomorrow? And continue.